It's a dream for you and me. This is not reality. Illusions everywhere. The mind is full of fear. It's a dream for you and me. This is not reality. In my dream, true illusions everywhere. Take you to another sphere with me. It's a dream. It's a dream.
Okay, this is a continuation of the cool lucid dream that I had in the creepy house. Okay, so yeah, so basically the owners, they moved out of the house because of, you know, the shit that went on down in the basement. Like, there were some murders or whatever down in the basement, but it seems like there was another reason too why they left the house, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, basically it was just a creepy ass house, and the owners left, you know, moved out or whatever, so the house went up, you know, for sale, and that's why they moved out, was because of the creepy ass basement and all the bad things that went on down there. But it seems like there was another reason, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so basically the house was pretty empty. It was pretty, I mean, they pretty much took everything with them except a few things. You know, there was a few things laying around, but in the bedroom, the back bedroom, it was at the end of the house, and me and Mom were in that bedroom. So apparently they did leave the dresser behind because, you know, she rummaged around the back of the bedroom. I mean, the end bedroom was at the back of the house, past the bathroom, down the hallway, over to the right. And me and Mom, and it seemed like there was 2 or 3 bedrooms in that area, but over to the right, at the end of the hallway, I already knew Mom was standing there with me, and I already knew she had kind of, when we, you know, we looked at the house, because for some dumb reason my uncle wanted me to look at the house. And he was wanting me to buy my grandma's house too, but like, I like where I'm staying now, you know what I mean? But anyway, so in this whole experience, I was like, I don't know why they want me to look at this damn house for sale when I already have a house that I'm in that I like. So anyway, so yeah, so down the long hallway, there seemed to be about 3 bedrooms down in the end of the house, and past that bathroom that was kind of crappy and paint coming off the walls and the bathtub, there was a bedroom, and me and Mom were standing there to the bedroom to the right. And like I say, I already knew she had rummaged through the dresser, you know, the dresser drawers. And see, the aliens knew all of this, because my mom had told me when Aunt Maggie died, and my grandmother owns that house, you know, now, you know, the yellow house after she died. You know, but since my grandma died, then now somebody else bought it. But when my Aunt Maggie lived there previously since 1950, and that's when the house was built, like 1950. And when my Aunt Maggie didn't have any kids, so she had to leave all of her money, which she had about $1 million, to split between 5 people, because my other uncle, he died, so there was 5 nieces and nephews. So anyway, like, you know, my mom, she told me that she hurried up and got some of Aunt Maggie's jewelry through the drawers. So the aliens were copying that and putting that in the scenario. Because my mom had already done that before, you know, because my Aunt Patty was alive then, and Aunt Patty probably would have, but she died on my birthday. She wasn't very old, like 72, of Alzheimer's. But she, yeah, so, you know, after my Aunt Maggie died, my mom, you know, rummaged around the drawers and took some jewelry and shit. And so anyway, so in the scenario, I already knew my mom had did that, you know, in the scenario. Like she had already, but it's kind of weird, like I'm so sure there's still going to be a dresser when you go look at a house and you're going to sit there and rummage through them, you know. But anyway, so I rummaged through the drawers, you know, because I guess I figured, you know, my mom could have missed something. Well, sure enough, the drawer to the left, well, first of all, the drawer to the right, I opened first. And I got a, there was a Rolex women's brown leather, light brown leather watch. And the watch, it was kind of, in the middle, it was like humped up. You know, it wasn't like flush to the, I mean, it was like pretty. And I couldn't find a watch like that, you know, that existed in this dimension. If it really did exist, it would probably be like a $3,000 watch or $2,000. Because they go from like 2,500 to like 33,000, or at least on Amazon, maybe more, you know, more. But on Amazon, or actually, I think they had one that was like 30, maybe 42,000, something like that. But they didn't go much above 37 or 42. But the cheapest one was about 2,700, I think. But yeah, it's funny. I looked on Amazon, and the $33,000 watch, I read some reviews, and you could tell they all were full of shit. And none of them were verified. So none of those people actually bought the watch, but they were just making these bullshit comments that like I bought it for my dog. You know, and first of all, why would you pay that much money for something online when, you know, it's probably going to be a fake anyway. You're probably going to get ripped off anyway. There are a bunch of frauds on Amazon. I've caught them, but at least they only were trying to rip me off, you know, like $7. But yeah, there are a bunch of frauds on Amazon, and there's red flags too, because it'll always be like, it'll say like something about, they always go by, their handle is like book something, and then, you know, like it'll say they've only been active for like a week on Amazon, but there are some frauds on there. I mean, I wouldn't spend that much money online, you know, over the internet, 33,000. But anyway, so yeah, so anyway, so this watch was like, yeah, it was a Rolex female watch, and like I say, the middle of it kind of bubbled up, humped up from the middle of the watch. It wasn't flush to the leather band, and also wasn't completely round. It was the shape of more like kind of like a stop sign or something. But I mean, it was beautiful, and of course, so I grabbed it. You know, I took it, and I wasn't going to tell my mom because I knew if I told her, she would try to take it from me. So I took that watch. And like I say, that's not the first time they put awesome jewelry, bowls of money in my scenarios. They put like freaking bowls of money in my scenarios. Like, well, anyway, I'll finish this part anyway. So I took the, this is the first time they put the Rolex watch in my scenario in that lucid dream out-of-body experience to the mansion with acetone gas leak. They put a big old Mel's Rolex watch. But they didn't make me steal it in that scenario. But in this scenario, I took it. I can't remember actually putting it in my pocket, but I took it. And I just was like, okay, I don't want to tell my mom, because even though she was kind of like standing around in the bedroom, she didn't see me look through the drawers again. So anyway, I took the watch, and then on the left side drawer, I opened it up, and there was like freaking, like, I hit a gold mine. There was like 4 or 5 pieces of jewelry, like, I mean, gold necklaces, and it seemed like there was a couple rings, and so I snatched up all that. and you know, took them, but I didn't tell my mom because I knew she would try to take some of it if I did. So that was the end of that scenario, or the end of that lucid dream or whatever. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, yeah, there was this one lucid dream they gave me down into a mall. It was like a mall, but there was a couple of the buildings, and it was like a skate shop. Yeah, I remember, I never talked about it, but it was like a skate shop. But that one was kind of underground, like on a basement level. And yeah, and I was down there looking at these like freaking ritzy ass skateboards and shoes. But anyway, at one point of that lucid dream, I was on the top of the building, and you know, and I remember just like kind of walking and jumping from building to building on top of the building, on top of the mall. And I looked down, and there was a big bowl of, you know, it was like a 10-inch round bowl full of change, but it was like, you know, quarters, 50-cent pieces, dollar pieces. So yeah, they do put a lot of money and jewelry in my scenarios. But anyway, but yeah, another thing I was gonna say was, I can't remember if I mentioned it, about, you know, about the gray that was in my, this was back in 2014. You know, like, I mean, it's kind of funny how these aliens, they can be all up in your face sometimes. Like the time 2013 when they were hovering over my bed, right when I laid down on my stomach, and some grays were hovering over me, totally invisible, and putting the implant on the top back of my head. And the whole time I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, it's just amazing when your brain wakes up and you see all this shit, and some of it's like right in your face. You know, the aliens could be right in your face. Even though they didn't manifest as completely physical, they did manifest completely physical back in 1994, but I haven't talked about that experience yet. You know, in my house. Well, actually, it was an apartment. But, yeah, so it's amazing how they can be all up in your face like that. And it seemed like it took them forever. Like, and I was just kind of like holding still, you know? And the whole time I could kind of hear and feel like it's hard to explain, like like I could feel and kind of hear as they were like putting the energetic implant in, like I still had physical feelings like of my neurons, and I could kind of hear, you know, my neurons were kind of like firing and misfiring, but I could also kind of hear the noise. Like when they were putting the implant in. It was really weird. I couldn't tell how big the implant was, but it's totally non-physical, and it seemed like it took them at least 10 minutes, which seemed forever. But anyway, another time when the alien was in my face, there was a gray standing all invisibly in the hallway of the bathroom in my master bedroom when I was sleeping, and he was standing there. Giving direct commands to my brain. And this was like on a weekend, and it seemed like I was having all these lucid dreams just probably between 9 and like 11:30, or maybe between 8 and 11:30. And I just kept going on from consecutive lucid dream to lucid dream after lucid dream after lucid dream. And the alien, he was standing there because I could feel him, number one, and number two, he was making physical noises against the floor. I could hear the creaks in the floor where he was standing, and he was like putting commands in my brain, and I just kept going on from awesome lucid dream to lucid dream to lucid dream, and and lots of times I kept popping awake, and I would just be like so confused because it was just like being confused going from one dimension to another dimension, because I totally felt like I was in another dimension. One of the lucid dreams, the virtual reality lucid dreams, was I was walking out of an apartment, and there was a big freaking flood going. It had rained, and there was a big flood going down the road, and this flood was massive. I mean, like, you know, like 20 feet of water, you know what I'm saying? And there was cars in the flood, and I was swimming down the freaking, you know, the floods. I was swimming in the flood waters, and I was trying to dodge like my car that was, you know, flooding down the damn flood, because I didn't want that big old piece of metal to hit me, you know, a vehicle. But anyway, he was giving me that lucid dream, and also it felt like you know, he was putting me on like a street in my true reality that was familiar to me. I felt like I was on a familiar street, you know, not far from me. But yeah, but anyway, he was putting commands in my brain, and one of the and I would hear these noises like sounded like basketball buzzer, like whenever you would substitute somebody in a basketball game, and you would hear bzz or beep, you know, the buzzer when they would have to smack the buzzer or whatever when they would substitute somebody. It sounded like that, and then another command. That, and I knew, I mean, whenever I would like pop awake, I'm just like, okay, this is so freaking weird, because I knew, I mean, this was all like in my face. I knew the gray was sitting there doing that, or standing there doing that, just, you know, 8 feet away from the bed in the doorway. So I don't know if he was giving commands to my implant or just giving commands to my brain. But one of the commands was this robot female voice, like a computer generated voice, and it said new, and you know, like new, like it was telling my brain, okay, go on to the next new lucid dream. And it was so freaking bizarre. But yeah, for some reason the aliens, they like the brain, they like the human brain for some reason, or it probably has nothing to do with that, because they like everything, you know. It doesn't matter if it's your brain or your butt or whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. They like everything. So it's not really that they have an interest in your brain, really. I mean, they like everything. But anyway, okay, so I don't know if I have enough time to talk about this quick virtual reality experience I had yesterday morning. I had two experiences. One was to the theme park office. It was very quick. It was virtual reality. And one was big, long lucid dreams. Seemed to last for like 4, 5, 6 hours. Maybe, yeah, probably 5 or 6 hours it seemed like, but of course, you know, probably didn't. To my grandma's house and meeting the owner, but that's going to take a long time to talk about, because lucid dreams, kind of, those take a long time. But what else was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, so like this morning, all I had was like dreams, like a couple dreams, and yeah, they sucked. They were like on the dream scale from 1 to 10. They were like let's see, like 2. 10 being the best. They were like 2, and like right here now, I cannot even remember. I mean, I totally remembered right when I woke up, but like right now, like I'm not even trying to remember. But they were kind of very, very artificial, and they sucked. Oh, but yeah, but another thing too, like when you have some of the crappier dreams, like for some reason, I don't know why I started to notice this, but I noticed it starting several years ago. For some reason, you know, if you have a crappy dream, like you'll totally forget the whole damn thing, you know, all throughout the day. But man, once you like go to bed for the night and you lay down, for some reason, just bam, 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 all your memory comes back of the dream. I mean, maybe not 100% of it, but like, you know, 50, 60, 70%. It's really weird. But like I say, that had probably always been happening. I just didn't realize that until like till like, I don't know, 2013 or 2012. Like, once you lay down, man, for some reason, it triggers your memory, those dreams that come back. It's really weird. I don't know why your brain works that way, but if I think really hard, I could probably remember a couple of those dreams, but I don't care about those anyway. They were very artificial and they sucked anyway. But yeah, the other two experiences I will talk about on a different video. But yeah, so the creepy lucid house dream, it was pretty fun. So thanks for listening.